Hi friends, I am going to do a try chapter with the library books that I shared about a week and a half ago. I've been wanting to do try a chapter. I was just in the middle of other books. And I'm also getting ready for some family to come in town, and so it's just been a bit chaotic in my house, trying to get everything cleaned and organized and get my work done and get some filming done. So I will link below the library book haul that I did. I'm not going to read a chapter of all of them. I'm going to try a few, and I'm about to tell you which ones. I also had another library book come in that I was interested in. So I'm not going to go into synopses because you'll see that when I try the chapters. So we're going to try The Grief Keeper by Alexandra Villasante. A Boy and His Dog at the End of the World by C.A. Fletcher. One of Us Knows, this is the new one, new thriller by Alyssa Cole. The End of the World Running Club by Adrienne J. Walker. The Last One by Will Dean. And then the new one that came in since I did that library haul is The River by Peter Heller. This one, I heard about the author. I've heard the author's name before. And then Sandy at Miss Reads Lot was talking about a book that she's reading from the same author. And I went online to see what my library had available. And so yeah, I'm gonna try this one. So what I'll do is I'll try a chapter, and if they're short chapters, I'll try a couple more. Usually, I would say about 15-20 pages. I can kind of tell if I'm gonna vibe with the story, well, with the writing style. I'll say that much. I just took a little bit of a lunch break and was able to read the first chapter, I don't know, 10 to 20 pages in a couple of the books. So the first one was that I read, The River by Peter Heller. This is about two college-age friends, boys, that have just finished up doing a summer job. Forget what it was, but it was in the wilderness. And they're very experienced in being outdoors and being on the river. And they decided to take a canoe trip up the Masqua River in Canada, and they've encountered two different groups of people, each having two people in them. One was two drunk guys and with a shotgun, and the other is a couple that a man and wife, or a man and woman, who are yelling at each other. They've also seen in the distance a wildfire, and they were trying to alert the different groups of people that a fire was coming. I like the writing. I had to look up a couple of things because I know nothing about boating or canoeing or being on the river. But I am really interested in seeing where this goes in this. But I'm only going to pick one of these books to go on my TBR for July, because I just have a lot of books that I still want to read for July. So that's that one. Then I tried the last one by Will Dean. This was weird. So we've got Kaz and Peter. They are, I think it specifically says they're on their 13th date, which is a cruise, a week-long cruise. Just in the first chapter was only like 6 or 7 pages, and I didn't want to read more. Because in the first 6 pages, it jumps, we don't even really get to know the personalities of these two before we're jumping into trauma and questions and about their relationship. It's just very weird. It's kind of like you're jumping in to the middle of a story, and it doesn't even like act like you're doing that. I mean, his other book that I read, Firstborn, it was strange. I'm just not feeling this one. So that's a definite no. So I read The End of the World Running Club by Adrienne J. Walker. I meant to read the first chapter. The chapters are long. I think the chapters are long. They're not really chapters. Well, yeah, I guess they are chapters, but basically I read more than I intended to because it's pretty intense right from the beginning. And there is a little prologue, but then the first chapter is the end. So it starts from the end and goes back, is what I think it does. I am definitely drawn in by the writing, obviously, because I had to actually physically stop my book. I had to stop. The story is intriguing. It does say on the back what happens, but an asteroid's coming. And basically it's the main character, Edgar Hill, goes by Ed, is reflecting on how he took his life for granted. He is a husband and he has 2 young kids and, you know, a regular 9-to-5 job, and he drinks a lot and is dealing with a hangover the night all this happened, or the morning this all happens. And, you know, it is intriguing. I'm not sure I really want to go there right now, which is, you know, different than when I checked them out from the library, which happens. I mean, I know I've got at least one other dystopian, which I'm not in the mood for dystopian. I really love dystopian. But this one is pretty big, and I just don't know if I'm gonna keep going with this one. It's well over 400 pages. But let me try the other. I've got 3 more to try, and then I will come back and let you know what I think of them based on their first, 10 to 20 pages, and then which one I will add to my July TBR. So it's later in the evening, eating some dinner and going to edit a video. Sorry if you can hear the dryer going. I wanted to update you on the last 3 books of my, try chapter for my library books. Let me try that again. A Boy and His Dog at the End of the World by C.A. Fletcher. This is from the perspective of the boy so far in the beginning part. And he basically is saying that him and his family, which is, I think, his parents and 2 siblings, are the only ones left in the world. And there's animals, and he kind of tells you some of why they're the only ones left in the world. And I just really didn't get gripped by it, wasn't interested in the writing style. Like, it just didn't do much for me. It may, if I were to read further, but I don't really have an interest in reading further at this time. I read the first little bit of One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole. This is about a woman with dissociative identity disorder, and I think I've mentioned here before, sometimes books that deal with psychological conditions, they're hard for me to read because I work in psychology, and if they're done well, that's great, but I haven't really found many that are done well. I don't know. That's just me. This is told from the different personalities, and while I guess we can guess One of Us Knows as the title, where this is going to go, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of where my mind is, which I'm kind of disappointed. I really liked Alyssa Cole's last thriller, and I'm not saying that I won't read this, I just don't want to right now. And then I read Grief Keeper by Alexandra Villasante. I read the first chapter of this. This is about 2 sisters. One is 17, the oldest is 17, and both of them are seeking asylum in the US. They left their home in El Salvador after the murder of their brother and the disappearance of their father. They're at a detention center, and Marisol, the oldest, is being interviewed for asylum. That's the first part of the that's the first chapter or so. I really did like this. I like the writing style. The story interests me. I'm gonna hold on to this one. I'm not sure that I'm gonna read it right now, because I'm also interested in The River by Peter Heller, which is about the 2 boys that are college age, and they're going on a river trip in Canada, and there's some sketchy people out on the river as well, and there's also a wildfire. This is something I wouldn't normally go for because I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. This isn't like something I would typically gravitate towards, but I'm sort of interested. I'm gonna see if I can find the audiobook for either of these because I'm almost done with the audiobook that I'm currently listening to. So these are the 2, The Grief Keeper by Alexandra Villasante and The River by Peter Heller. These are the 2 that I'm gonna keep out from the library and read them, or see if I can find the audiobook for those. I did like The End of the World Running Club by Adrienne J. Walker. I'm just not in the mood for a 400-page dystopian right now, because I also still have a dystopian on my TBR for July that I am definitely going to get to, because it's part of another vlog that I'm going to do. So this one's going back, but I will keep it on my list of possible books. The last one by Will Dean is just not for me as well. For right now, I'm not going to read One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole, and that's mainly a me thing with the psychology or the psychological disorder kind of trope about it. That's not a thing that I enjoy very often. And then a Boy and His Dog at the End of the World by C.A. Fletcher, I'm just not interested in. So that was about, what was that, 6 books? Yeah, I can count. 6 books of the library haul that I did for this month that I tried the first 10 or 20 pages of. And so I found 2 that I'm really interested in. So check back at the end of July to see which ones if I read either one of the 2 that I'm interested in. And yeah, that does it for me for today. If you would like to support my channel and see the videos that are coming up, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you very soon. Bye.